So we're changing out the roll, putting on a new roll. He has to cut the top and the bottom off. Just pulling the roll off of the hot roller so he can glue it onto the next roll he's gonna put on. So the roll has to be a certain way. It has to be fed a certain way. You have to make sure you put this white roll in between this roller here. So he gets that roll, he brings it around, loops it around this black roller, and then he just glues it onto the old laminate that was already there. And he does the same thing for the bottom roll. So you can see this roll has to unwind this way because the glue's on this side. And the bottom one is the opposite way. It goes from the top, it goes over the top. So on this one here, he has to get down there. Yeah. And he has to bring it around that roller. Once he gets it around that roller, he pulls it down, and sticks it onto the other one. What he has to do, he has to line up both of the laminates. So you have to make sure that these two, they're right on top of each other, evenly. So he just has to make sure that it's all in a line down here in the bottom. It's lined up. The way to move those, you can, if you turn clockwise, it goes up. Counterclockwise, you bring the roller back down towards you. That's on top and bottom. So what he's doing, he's loading up the sheets. He gets them, fans them out, get rid of some of the static. So the way you load it, you have this mark here. You have these marks here. That's the way that they need to be loaded. So that way the eye can read that mark. So when you load these sheets on here, you have to make sure that they're as straight as you can get them. So that way when they feed, when the suckers pick them up, it'll pick them up straight and flat. If you have them going all kinds of ways, it'll pick it up in different spots. And once it gets here, it won't grab them. The wheels won't grab them right, or else they'll hit over here on these sides, or it won't go inside the track right. So you gotta make sure you always try to get them as flat as possible in here. So you hit this button to get it going to start feeding. And you can see your gap your gap in here. Once it gets closer over here, it starts closing up. So you can see as it closes a little bit. So all he's doing, he has to make sure that this lines up, your sheet lines up down here in the bottom with your laminate. If your laminate and your sheet don't line up, then it won't go in here straight. It won't grab them. These wheels here won't grab the sheet right. So he's feeding it. So he turns it on so that way it'll shoot out the cards. It'll separate them.